Let's start with the obvious. Self-improvement seems like a noble goal, doesn't it? After all, who doesn't want to be better? The self-improvement industry has capitalized on this deeply human desire, offering us books, courses, podcasts, and influencers all promising to help us live our best lives. At first glance, it all sounds great. Who wouldn't want to be their best self? But here's the hidden danger. The self-improvement movement often focuses on what we lack. It creates an endless to-do list of habits to build, skills to master, and milestones to achieve. It tells us that as we are, we're never quite enough. And while growth can be incredibly rewarding, this endless striving can create a sense of inadequacy. Instead of feeling empowered, we end up feeling like we're constantly behind, running on a treadmill that never seems to stop. Have you ever experienced this yourself? Maybe you've set a big goal, like waking up at 5 a.m., mastering a new skill, or starting a side hustle. But somewhere along the way, it felt more like an obligation than an inspiration. You might have asked yourself, why am I even doing this? That feeling, that disconnect between your goals and your sense of fulfillment, is often the first sign that you're caught in the self-improvement trap. Let's turn to philosophy for insight. The ancient Greek philosopher Socrates famously said, "Know thyself." It's a simple yet profound idea, and it holds the key to escaping the self-improvement trap. Growth should begin with self-awareness. If we don't understand our true desires, values, and needs, we risk pursuing goals that don't actually serve us. We might spend years climbing a ladder only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. Think about it. How often do we set goals because they look impressive, rather than because they align with what truly matters to us? Maybe you've decided to take on a challenge because it's what everyone else is doing, or because it's trendy. While there's nothing wrong with ambition, the pursuit of self-improvement can sometimes become a performance, a way of proving our worth to others rather than growing for ourselves. This is where Friedrich Nietzsche's philosophy becomes particularly relevant. Nietzsche warned against what he called the herd mentality. He believed that society often imposes a specific idea of what success and self-worth should look like. If we blindly follow these societal ideals, we risk becoming what Nietzsche referred to as last men, comfortable but unfulfilled individuals living lives dictated by external expectations rather than inner purpose. In today's world, this herd mentality is amplified by social media. We are bombarded with images of people who seem to have it all: the perfect job, the perfect body, the perfect life. It's easy to compare ourselves to these curated versions of reality and feel like we're falling short. Nietzsche reminds us that true fulfillment doesn't come from conforming to societal standards, but from forging our own path. Self-improvement, then, should be a deeply personal journey of self-discovery, not a game of keeping up with others. Let's also take a closer look at the idea of perfection itself. The philosopher Voltaire famously said, "Perfect is the enemy of good." Perfectionism can paralyze us, keeping us from taking action or appreciating the progress we've already made. When we set impossibly high standards, we create a cycle of frustration and dissatisfaction. Even when we achieve something significant, instead of celebrating, we often move the goalpost further away. Have you ever reached a milestone you once dreamed of, like graduating, landing a great job, or achieving a fitness goal, only to feel like it wasn't enough? That's the self-improvement trap in action. Instead of enjoying the moment, we focus on the next thing, convinced that happiness lies just beyond the horizon. Jean-Paul Sartre, an existentialist philosopher, offers another perspective. Sartre believed that human beings are condemned to be free. This means we have the freedom to define our lives, but with that freedom comes the responsibility of making choices. In the context of self-improvement, this raises an important question. Why do we pursue the goals we choose? Are we trying to live authentically, or are we chasing external validation, escaping discomfort, or avoiding our own fears? Sartre invites us to ask difficult but necessary questions. Why am I striving for this? Is it because it aligns with who I want to become, or is it because I feel pressured to measure up to others? clarifying our motivations is essential for shifting from chasing perfection to pursuing meaningful growth. Psychologically, the self-improvement trap is also tied to a concept known as the hedonic treadmill. Studies show that humans quickly adapt to new circumstances, whether they're positive or negative. This means that no matter how much we achieve, our happiness often returns to a baseline level. We might get a promotion, buy a new car, or reach a fitness goal, but after the initial excitement fades, we start looking for the next achievement. It's an endless cycle of striving without lasting satisfaction. So, how do we avoid this trap and create a healthier relationship with self-improvement? Here are some ideas to consider. First, embrace imperfection. Recognize that you are, and always will be, a work in progress. Growth doesn't mean reaching a flawless state. It means learning, adapting, and evolving. Celebrate small wins and progress, no matter how incremental. Sometimes, good enough is exactly what we need. Second, practice self-compassion. Many self-improvement strategies are rooted in criticism, focusing on what we're doing wrong and what we need to fix. But lasting change comes from a place of kindness and understanding. Treat yourself with the same patience and support you'd offer to a close friend. Third, focus on intrinsic goals. Research shows that people who pursue goals tied to their passions and values, such as learning for the joy of it, building meaningful relationships, or contributing to a cause, experience greater happiness than those chasing external rewards like status, wealth, or recognition. Instead of asking what will impress others, ask what will genuinely fulfill me. Fourth, learn to slow down. The self-improvement movement often glorifies hustle culture, where busyness is seen as a badge of honor. But sometimes the most profound growth happens when we pause, reflect, and simply allow ourselves to be. Rest and relaxation are not signs of weakness. They're essential components of a balanced, meaningful life. Finally, redefine success on your own terms. Ask yourself, what does a meaningful life look like to me? What values do I want to live by? When you focus on what truly matters, you create a vision for your life that's rooted in authenticity, not external expectations. Let's also talk about gratitude. One way to counter the self-improvement trap is by acknowledging and appreciating where you are now. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we already have. It reminds us that life isn't just about striving for the next thing. It's about savoring the journey. The self-improvement trap is tempting because it promises happiness just around the corner. But true happiness isn't about reaching a destination. It's about finding meaning, joy, and purpose in the process. It's about balancing ambition with acceptance, growth with gratitude, and striving with self-compassion. Thank you for taking the time to explore this topic with me. If you found this video insightful, I'd love for you to check out the next one on screen. There's always more to learn, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you.